Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of What Did He Said podcast. Welcome everybody. We got Juan Perez in the building.
What's up? What's up?
What's up, my boy? I saw you was back in the gym, my boy, up on stage here in town, hitting the mics.
Oh yeah. Well, you went with me, so
yeah. I mean, I was there, but of course, you know, Javi Luna, he gives you a hard time sometimes. It's like, when you gonna get back in the gym, Juan?
Whenever I'm able to do that, you know what I mean. Like I got to come up with like new stuff for me to do because there's certain jokes I want to do, and then I like to think through my stuff before I just go to the mic, just because I don't want it to be a waste.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just want to make sure, just in case there's not even a crowd, I can at least work it out in the microphone. But really, we have a mic now at the house, and then we have that speaker. So shoot, I could just do that and then go to open mic because I can test out a lot more stuff for me.
Yeah. So. See how you like that method. Well, you'll probably get to work out some material as you join us, Houston, Texas, at the Improv, February 23rd and 24th. You'll be kind of like co-host, you know, kind of like guest spot / co-host. Theo Hoover's more of the guest spot. We're going to have a few guest spots, bro. Speaking of guest spots, I'm going to be, by the time this airs, I think you guys are going to miss it. But I'm going to pull up on my boy Kim Flores. He has 2 shows at the Improv, and I'm going to get to work out, you know, do a guest spot. That is actually tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because today we're recording this on a Tuesday, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's working on Thursday?
No. I believe it's Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I believe it's Wednesday. So shout out to him, man. He told me that his first comedy show ever attending was my show at the Schaumburg Improv. And he was just like, oh, I think I could do this shit. Or he liked it. He had a good time, right? He had a good time. And he had never really had that experience. And next thing you know, he got in the game, and next thing you know, he's doing guest spots for people, and then he's featuring. Now he's got his own tour, man. So salute to him.
He's running with it.
Salute to him for sure. Are We Still Friends tour after Houston on the 23rd, 24th of February. We have Canyon Lake on March 2nd, Lubbock, Texas, March 3rd with my homeboy Jesse Payton, and then I have Midland, Texas, March 15th, San Angelo, March 16th. Covina, April 4th through the 7th, and just hit up the website, chingoblin.com. You can get more info because we're going all over the place, man. So speaking of comedians, bro, did you catch wind of some of the heat David Lucas caught?
I saw some of it. I didn't get too deep into it just because, I mean, for the most part, I agree with him.
Yeah.
And then I know he's just getting all the hate and stuff like that. So like most people probably just gonna be like, man, fuck David Lucas. I'm just like, man, I actually like David Lucas.
Well,
I actually met David Lucas.
Oh yeah, when you meet him at when he was rolling with Shab or something?
With Shab, yeah, they did the AT&T Center, and so I was there with them, and I got to talk to him for a little bit. He's a real cool dude, man. He's real cool.
Yeah, he's smart, man. I wouldn't mind meeting him as well. Maybe have him on the show one day. But the way I look at that situation is kind of like, he's an edgy comedian, man. Comedians, you got to have free speech. You got to be able to attempt and try to be funny and try to be able to touch on several topics. But I was kind of ticked off when I saw so many comedians and comedy fans feeling like, no, that's one thing you can't talk about. You can't touch that. Or no, he's a martyr. He's a saint. You can't go there. Or like, that's off limits. And it's like, it's just a sign of the times. Like, unfortunately, the way the media and different forces portrayed that event, it just became such a point of contention where it's like, are you posting the square? Are you not? What side are you on? Are you an ally? Mm-hmm. And he actually went on Willie D's podcast, and they got to discuss it. Yeah. But I just kept feeling like, man, people really not understanding that he's an edgy comedian. He's trying to be great. He's trying to do some, he said if Chappelle would have said it, y'all would have gave him a pass. Like, he made a lot of good points, bro. And it's just unfortunate that comedy, more people should be on the same page, that comedy is such an important art form. It's such an important medium for our society. Like, free speech is so important for civilization. And we got to be careful when we go around trying to police. And I saw, like, it was like Godfrey and some other people that he had on his podcast, and they talked about it, and they were kind of leaning towards like, yeah, you got to be careful, and when you do, you got to make sure it's funny, and you this, and there's certain things, and you're gonna walk people. And I'm like, bro, I'm waiting to see which one of these comedians is gonna stick up for the comedian.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what it's like now. I mean, there's so many people trying to be comedians now, especially in Texas, where like a lot of people move to Austin to do it. Mm-hmm. So a lot of them have opinions, and how do you get more views for a lot of these guys is to just talk shit on it. It's like, oh, I'm gonna jump on that because I don't really necessarily agree with him, but fuck it, I'll get some clout off of it. That's usually how it happens. They eat their own. I mean, and honestly, you've seen it with other comedians and other hot spots in the past, and so it's just one of those things where it's just that way. But it's like. But that's like with any job, dude. You always have like the drama and all that stuff, and then you have a bunch of people that just talk shit. So I mean, and for the most part, comedians, we're like made to talk shit.
Yeah,
like we're made to like look at it and then figure out what's an angle I can take, and then how can this benefit me? Because I mean, that's just how some people move up here, and I mean, and some people won't even say that out loud. I don't give a shit. So,
well, you reminded me of something, man. I was watching the old Patrice O'Neal Q&A he did on Opie Anthony's show. I was listening on YouTube, and Patrice O'Neal was commenting on a situation that Tracy Morgan was in years ago, right? Because this is an old thing, and he was basically saying how Chris Rock first showed support for Tracy Morgan, like, oh man, you know, Tracy, yada yada, like backing him up, and then maybe he started getting some of the heat, or he got a phone call from an agent or something, and he had to walk it back, be like, nah, man, you out of line, Tracy. Can't be doing that. There's certain protected groups that we can't offend or go against because they're going to come knocking on your door and they're going to frame you or use whatever type of media connections. And that reminded me of that, where I'm like, Chris Rock, really, bro? Like, you couldn't even... I don't know.
Well, because I mean, so on that, I mean, just with that, when you get to a certain level, I mean, because comedians are usually free spirits, but once you get to a certain level, like I'm sure you got to tap dance around stuff, especially if you own multiple businesses or you own like
you
actually have a payroll of people that you do.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of stuff you probably got to tap dance around. But if you're just a comedian, and again, like David Lucas, he's hilarious and stuff like that, and then he's at a level where he can be free and talk about stuff. He's gonna get controversy, of course, but at the same time, he can talk about whatever he wants and not have repercussions of like, oh man, if I say this, you know, I'm going to cost these people their jobs because I can't afford to pay them or whatever it is. And so a lot, like, I think it's just advice, like big bro kind of advice from like Chris Rock at the time, just telling him, hey man, and again, you got to think about the time of comedy around that time too, of like, you know, now like black comedian like comedy is like huge and stuff, that it was paved by the kings of comedy and all that stuff. And you know, there's probably certain areas right there where at a time there was only like, you know, like this is what a lot of black comedians have said in the past, like Eddie Murphy and all that. Like they knew like there's only like, this is what they would say on other podcasts would be, there would only be one black comedian at a time, right? And it would be like, you know, it was Richard Pryor, and he was always scared of Eddie Murphy because he knew Eddie Murphy was the next one.
He's gonna be the
and
one.
Then Eddie Murphy came up, and then after him it was, you know, so on and so forth until it got to the Kings of Comedy, and then it opened up the avenue for everybody to where it was like, oh,
we can have
hire the
multiple.
black, and so all of a sudden all black comedians have different stories and stuff like that. So it it got bigger, and so like, and then Def Comedy Jam was a big movement for that too. And I feel like that's what's happening right now for Hispanic comedians. I mean, if you think about it, like
with social media,
with anything,
it's not just George Lopez anymore.
It was like, George Lopez, and then you know Gabriel, and all these. It was always like one major one at a time, and now it's splintering off into. Like,
now you got a lot of flavors.
Because now it's like, oh, their stories not just they cut lawns. It's more shit. Like there's a bunch of like, no, like dude, a lot of us are just Americans. A lot of us don't even speak Spanish, motherfucker. Like there's a lot of shit. So look,
I'll give you an example. This morning I was trying to come up with some funny stuff, and I need to get better about like actually writing with pen and paper. But I was walking around the house, I was getting the baby ready for daycare or whatever, and I came in the room, Marisol's getting ready, and I'm like, hey, if a comedian wanted to make the point that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift relationship ain't real, like, how would Ralphie May do it? How would Patrice O'Neal do it? How would like George Lopez do it? It'd probably be like, hey, right, cause like, right, watch out, cause you know, if that was like a Latino couple, you know, she'd be on the sidelines already, or like during the play.
Wait, say the thing again at the beginning. If you were trying to communicate what?
So basically, I was telling Marisol, I was like, hey, I'm just trying to write and analyze a subject. I said the subject would be, how do I take the premise and tell the audience like the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift relationship. That's not real. Y'all think that's real?
Yeah.
And then go in and make your funny points.
Yeah. I mean, that's just anything. So and again, this is like you could. Ralphie May does like a really good masterclass that you talked about it. Then a Comedy Store would have these comedians come over and do stuff like that. I think Ari Shaffir has one up on YouTube somewhere.
Oh, word.
But they all have like their takes on it. But Ralphie threw down so much knowledge, and I have been wanting to watch it, and I finally did. And like, there's like takes for all that. But like with the premise, it's normally just saying your thought. And the way I kind of think of it is like, how would I say this to a comedian? And then, because with comedians, like especially with Israel, when I would do it with Israel, dude, I'd make him laugh all the time because I would say something fucked up, and he would get it, and then he'd be like, "Bro, you can never say that on stage." And I'm like, I think I will try it, like because I have my points, and he's like, and I would make him laugh, and then he would be like, and it was just like so like edgy, some of the shit I would say to him, but I would get away with it because we're friends. And so with that, it's like translating it on stage, like, how could I say it? And if I do, how good are my points to be able to, could it get me out of it? Because a lot of it comes down to, if you have a point on it, and then on top of that, if there's truth behind it, it's gonna work. And that's literally how Patrice and Ralphie would just work. They'd work all day on that. Like, they would hit something, they'd hit a point, and people would just automatically disagree, like, you can't say that. And it's like, they would hit you with so much truth that it'd be like, I can't say shit. Like, think about the joke with Patrice O'Neal with the special that he did. And he was talking about the women. And he's like, ladies, let's just say hypothetically you were in a car accident and you lost your
how long?
You lost your vagina and
and then, what would you do for your man?
What would you do? What would you do for your man to keep your man if like you were in a clause and he could stay with you for 2 months or whatever?
They had to take your vagina.
What would you do? And they were like, anal.
They're like,
and they were like the mouth, give him oral. And it's like, okay, y'all been pussy beaming me all show, but y'all just described yourselves as a series of hoes, and it was just so masterful. Done, but that's literally how you do that. It's to the point of like, I'm gonna say some controversial shit right now or whatever it could be. I'm gonna make this point, and then from there I'm gonna deconstruct it and make you guys realize where the fuck I'm coming from. And that's a master comedian, because you're bringing them into your realm, and
they're like, you're right.
Yeah, because
at first it's like, man, we don't see ourselves like that. And then they do it skillfully, where they'll find like, I'll point out something ironic about the situation, or I'll hit you with a punchline, but I'm gonna misdirect you with a series of something else, like boom, 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 bam. So man, and you just mentioned Israel, bro, and man, I still can't believe he's gone, bro. Rest in peace, our homie Israel, and I think about him all the time, and sometimes I'll be wanting to text you too, where I'm just like, bro, I can't even believe this is for real. You know what I mean? And you just brought him up in the light that I remember him best, which is like master comedian, talking shop, chiming in, listening to what y'all got going. You know what I mean? Fix your stuff up. But yeah, man. And rest in peace to Patrice O'Neal and Ralphie May. Yeah, two other people that I've kind of been studying this week and just kind of like watching how they work, the same way you would watch like some jiu-jitsu people. Like, all right, what is Marcelo, what's his little thing? How does he do that guillotine? And what was Danaher's whole thing? Or
speaking of jiu-jitsu, wouldn't you have a dude at your gym that?
Bro. Dude. All right,
you got to bring that up. Shout them out. They're sponsored, by the way.
Yeah. So shout out to the homie Sebastian Oyervidez. I don't even know how old he is, bro. He might be 18, 19, 17. I met him when he was like maybe 13, 14, right? He was just a kid in the kids program. And at the jiu-jitsu classes at Urban Jungle, shout out Urban Jungle, in the nighttime classes, it'll be a mix. You got teenagers in there too, right? And they'll give you the business too if you ain't careful. If you're a little 44-year-old Mexican and you don't weigh that much, you know what I'm saying? They put you in that little spider guard. Next thing you know, they balloon sweep you. You're like, I'm going up. But anyway, Sebastian, bro, phenom, very inspirational. He inspires me a lot because he's so focused. He's so disciplined. He's always putting in his work, and he ain't out distracted at all. And his last fight, 26 seconds. So
that's great.
I wasn't able to make it to like the last two fights.
But like all the fights so far have been like,
it's like a minute. It was like a minute 45, a minute 15, or like 45 seconds.
He hasn't even had a full fight technically.
So my thing is this, bro. If you want me to rearrange my whole Sunday and figure out, okay, y'all good? We went to church already. Like where I gotta be? What time's the fight start? You asking a lot for 26 seconds.
Yeah, you're like, what time's the mauling? Like,
yeah.
what time is it we're gonna bully somebody right now? Not even a fight, dude. That's insane.
So to describe this 26-second scrap, so bell rings, they face up. I think Sebastian throws a kick to the thigh.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. It really is the gentle art in this case because the other kid had to tap, but he's not, his face is, you know what I mean? There's no stitches. Like he didn't have to kick him in the stump. There was no ground and pound. There's no blood.
Well, you hit him with like a liver shot or
something? No, it was a guillotine.
Oh, guillotine.
So they engage, right? They kind of square up. And Sebastian just kind of like does like a little tippy toe hop, like got your neck. And then like falls back and like maybe just throws his legs over like a guillotine.
He must have a tight fucking guillotine. Like there's just some guys that are torque and that just have like the strangle, because some people can do it and you can like muster through it, but then there's some people where it's like, oh, like you feel it instantly. You're like, oh yeah,
yes, especially when they're contracting your neck forward and they got their legs and they're leaning the certain way, but it didn't have to get violent. You know what I mean? Like in other words, you're young, you're in this fight game. It's so great to have the wherewithal to know I have so many options.
Yeah.
I don't have to go a million rounds beating each other upside the head, getting CTE.
Right.
Because you want to have your mental faculties when you don't want to be punch drunk in your freaking 30s.
Get in, get out.
Exactly. And that boy took care of his business. So shout out to Sebastian Oyedavidez, Urban Jungle, you know what I'm saying, Coach Tony. And it's inspirational because you're training at a place where you got rodeo champions. And I'm not saying we are champions, but you know where the bar is set.
Yeah.
So if you ever got to roll with him, if you ever have to spar with him, or if he's ever, leading a class or anything.
Is it gonna be like when you're in school or something? You have like, I don't, because you don't have brothers, but like if you had like an older brother,
I got two big sisters. I got two big sisters.
Yeah, but let's say you get into like you bump into somebody in the street. Like, hey, you better watch out, man. I'm gonna get my big brother over here that come fuck you up.
My big little brother. He's 17, and then he had to cut weight too, bro. So he was cutting weight. He was already skinny. Yeah. So now he was like, I think 126 pounds, something crazy. Yeah. Where I made it to class. It was like last, I can't remember when it was. I can't remember, one of these days ago. And Coach, he shouted out my shows. He's like, don't forget, guys, this is Chingo Bling. He's actually funny. He'll be at the Improv 23rd, 24th. He's like, and also Sebastian got a fight this Sunday. And then he says, and he's cutting weight. That's why he looks like that. So he's over there in the corner stretching, like, it's super cool, bro.
That's dope.
But yeah, man, rodeo is rodeo season. Marisol's killing it at the boutique. Her apparel, she got all kind of cowboy hats and boots and all kind of accessories.
Yeah, guys, if you live in the Houston area, guys, y'all should go down there. Actually, y'all should make a day of it, because like if you go down to like the Rice Village, guys, there's like a bunch of shopping areas.
Yeah, Travis Scott,
and then they got some good little food spots down there. Yeah, y'all need to check that out.
Get you a baguette. Go get your baguette.
Single people, there's a lot of people, jogging and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
It's a university area.
So there's a lot of stuff there. There's coffee. There's
ice cream. There's tacos. Tacos and ice cream.
Yeah. So y'all should get down there and then get your shopping on.
If Tio Juve was here, he'd be like, they got tortas, they got
are you this is more of like not a white belt thing. You got to be like at least a blue belt or higher.
Purple belt.
Because them joggers.
Lord have mercy. But no, man, Marisol's killing it at the Hive, rodeo season. So cook off, bro. So when I have my shows on the 23rd, 24th, I understand it's cook off. You ain't got to keep telling me, hey, but it's cook off. Hey, listen. You don't even got cook-off tickets right now, player. Go ahead and get you the improv. Go ahead and get your improv tickets.
Well, how long does a cook-off? When is a cook-off over?
That's a good question, but I think it goes for a couple weeks, bro.
Yeah, there's two. So you got this. This
is my only weekend.
Yeah, it's the only weekend. You haven't been in Houston. You haven't been at the Improv in a while. So it's like
Improv's been a long
you haven't
while.
been. So y'all should come out, and it's like on top of that, it's like. you could do both. Like, there's the show you could go to, and then that. So, like, you can make a day of it if you're really trying to, like, make up for, like, Christmas that you messed up, or Valentine's. Let's say you fucked up on Valentine's Day.
Double
and
up.
you're like, you know what? Man, I got to make it up to them. Hey, babe, I want to take you for a good night of laugh.
Check this out. Before the cook-off, let me get you primed.
Humor is the best. What is that called? Aphrodisiac. That's what I was... Yeah, we saw each other right there.
I was like, that's how...
You know the word?
That's an aphrodisiac.
Yeah, so come out. I mean, it's going to be a lot of surprises. You know, Theo Hoover, give you guys some game. Prime everything.
I got to figure out what I'm aware at this Houston Improv. It's not really my concern. I'll let Marisol handle it. But I told her, hey, I don't know about boots, because the ones that I wore that had spurs on them, that's a no-no on stage.
You got other boots?
Yeah, I got other boots. She has options. She has options for sure. That's the least of my concern, man. I'm just trying to make sure that we have a good time, we have fun. Hoover's excited.
Yeah,
Hoover had a good old time.
So excited. We've been hitting a lot of the mics. Like, you've been hitting the mic pretty hard. You've been hitting, which is interesting, because it's like now we kind of starting to, like, get a system of, like, oh, like, there's these over here, Jeff Joe and all them. Like,
see the dynamics.
Yeah, throwing it there where it's like, oh, these are nice spots here in Houston. So
Axelrad was under construction, so they had us under this little tent thing, which was cool. Hopefully, it's back up upstairs in the room.
I like it because there's a lot of different crowds every single time, like at these mics. Like, when I would do open mics in other places, like, there's just, like, nobody in the audience, so it just felt like a waste of time. Yeah. Where it's like, okay, I'm not gonna.
At least you got people.
But the fact that you have people here, it's like, oh, I can actually get genuine feedback. Yeah, that was my hope. That was, like, my biggest, like, hang up. Is
Me
like,
too.
It's like, dude, why am I waiting to waste my time? And then, you know, Jeff Joe and then the Secret Group and
they built it up.
And the Riot, they've built up these spots where it's just like,
there's
dude,
people.
they've, like, put in the work to get these crowds to come at the open mic after open mic, to where it's like, oh, this is work. Oh, this is dope. Like,
yeah, no, props to them, bro. That you right. They've done an excellent job of building it up to where, like, for example, you go drop in at one of the shows at the Riot, and it's packed. I mean, there's a bunch of people, and it's like a room, and you start to think, like, you start to calculate, like, damn, Houston, we kind of got a little scene popping off. Like, there's so many more rooms, bro, that we haven't even.
Well, Houston's always been, like, the staple for Texas, like, because you got to think, this is where, like,
Hicks,
this is where they are. Hicks
Kennison.
Is, like, the main one. Hicks, Kennison, Ralphie May,
Ralphie.
Like, dude, there's so many phenoms here, and then the guys that are currently, like, here, like you, and then you have, like, you have Ali Sadiq, and
even
Juan
like
Villarreal.
Villarreal.
You got so many people. It's like, you got phenoms here that if a crowd member just goes, I mean,
you don't know
maybe
who.
there's some people that are just like, oh man, I didn't really like that, but you never know who the fuck could drop in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, to the point where it's like, oh man, these guys are funny. Like, you'll get some kind of laugh.
And it didn't take long for Bryson Brown to go from, like, hosting an open mic at the Improv, and you're just like, oh man, this dude's a pro. And then next thing you know, Bruce or somebody, Ali,
all these people he tours with, and now he's starting to headline on his own, like, here and there, where it's like he's starting to grow his following too.
Yeah,
like, he's amazing.
And he's dropped a few audio projects, and I'm looking forward to because he hits a lot of these spots that, like, I skip over, whether it's like St. Louis, Indianapolis, Cleveland, stuff like that aren't maybe my biggest markets. So I'm looking forward to him, like, going back even on his own over the years, where it's like, oh, dude, I sold out Indianapolis whole weekend, Cleveland gone, Buffalo, upstate New York. You know what I mean? Just all those little in between places.
Yeah, but I mean, right now we're working on different things to where it's like, you know, it's not even gonna matter if you think you have a following over there. It's just like, we just need to get the word out the way we're doing it, because it's starting to, like, this little method's starting to work for you, where it's like, oh, this is how we do it organically.
You know what would be dope, man, eventually, is to hone in the craft and tap in a way where it's no longer like, are there how many Latinos are there in Indianapolis? Like, that's no longer the thing. Because I speak English. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I want people to be like, hey, bro, when you coming to the UK? Are you ever doing Canada?
I've seen that kind of criticism, though, sometimes. Like, not criticism like that, but, like, to the point where it's like, some people are like, I want to go to the show, but I don't really speak Spanish. It's like, just come to the show, and then they're happy afterwards, because it's like one of those things, like, no, we do English, dude.
Like, I honestly...
Dude, Juve might be a little bit of mix.
Might be a little bit more... Rough
You knew
around,
what you getting whenever you saw the reels.
rough around the edges. Yeah,
But Chingo does English, man.
Yeah.
Don't let that scare you. Like, cause damn, if we were going based off of like looks and names, I mean, shit. My name is Juan Antonio Perez. I got the most
Juan
Mexican
Antonio.
shit. I don't speak any Spanish, and if I do, it's like a little one word or something that I explain what it means. So I mean, you gotta worry. Like, don't let that scare you.
Queso, por favor. Yeah, queso. How you say it? Chingo. Tell her I want some cheese, bro.
Yeah, tell her I want some cheese, the yellow one.
Yeah, y'all got the ¿cómo se dice?
Yeah, that's Super Bowl cheese.
I mean, that's a whole other comedy in Spanish. That shit's tricky, bro.
Yeah,
that's hard. I did all right when I did it in L.A. because I was L.A.
Yeah,
and it was only 10 minutes, and I was probably more confident. But once I was in Mexico and my primas are right there staring at me,
yeah,
making faces and shit, and I'm up there like ¿cómo se dice? Like yeah no bueno.
Well, I had to keep bringing up Israel, but Israel did a Spanish set where he did it one time. He did it in Dallas, and I remember going up. He was like so scared because he knows like
El Paso Spanish.
Well, no, he knows like real Mexican people that do Mexico Spanish.
Oh yeah.
And so he was like, oh, it's got to be perfect words and stuff, which he does speak Spanish.
But it's Dallas, though, bro.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He wasn't taking into effect because he's a professional. So like for him, he's like, it's got to be. And so he was calling people like, okay, how does this? Okay, I got to work. I got to edge that out because I got to say it proper. And then when he got there, Dallas, he was like so prepared to the point where he's like, oh, I just said this slang word. They're laughing. Fuck it. And he just went off of like, it was Spanish, but it was like he was throwing in so many lingo, and he destroyed the room.
Honestly, bro, look, I know my manager. She over there, and she could probably hear me. I mean, I know we have our hands full with enough tours and projects, but hypothetically, if we wanted to flip the script in like 2028, I don't know if I'm gonna be touring that goddamn long, but like, let's just say 2026 or whatever. If we said, hey man, let's get a couple guys that can like Jerry or Raymond, Mario, there's like certain dudes that I know can probably pull it off, where it's like, look, we're just going to do these 5 cities. It's going to be a quick run. We're just going to test it out. Like bilingual, comedia en español.
Yeah.
But right now I'm thinking about Israel's jokes, and I'm thinking how he would have done it. Like, no mames, güey. Vas al pinche restaurante Olive Garden, carnal. Te traen el pinche aparato del queso. I'm trying to picture how he...
Well, like, okay, like one, I'm just going to say this one because it was, I don't know why it was so funny, but I don't really speak Spanish, but I understood some of it. But when he was talking about like the vagina or something, he called it a bean or something. Like, you flick the bean, but he said it in Spanish.
Frijol.
But the frijol. And dude, it fucking crushed. And then there was like this couple in the front, and he's like, why y'all keep looking at me weird? Wait a minute. Y'all don't speak Spanish. What'd you think this was? Y'all thought it was an English show? Oh, y'all been sitting here through 3 people? And he just started.
But he's telling them that in English?
Yeah, he's like, it's like, because he saw them because they look white. And like, he's like, oh, you like that undercover type of, but he's talking in Spanish. He's like, oh, y'all that nice Spanish. And then they were just like, looking at each other, he was like, oh, y'all don't even speak Spanish. Oh, y'all been here the whole show? Oh, shit. It's
he's probably like, talk to me after the show. I'll get y'all this shit.
Well, they got up and left after he was done because it was still like 2 more comedians. And they were probably like, you know what? He's got a point. Yeah, we should probably get out of here. Wow. Yeah, it was funny. Dude, there was some funny parts in that. But yeah, man. I just started thinking about it right now because it's like those memories. It's funny.
Yeah, if you have that footage and you upload it.
That's the thing. Somebody said they were going to record it in 4K and we never got it.
Oh, no.
So that I didn't record that one because I was recording on his sets at that time.
Do you think that person might still have that footage? I mean, don't know, right now Israel's probably looking down like, bro.
Israel had asked him like 3 or 4 times.
So he kind of wanted it.
Yeah. Almost like that footage like in El Paso we lost for us.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can still get that, bro. Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can.
I don't think it came out good. I think that's why, because the audio. I don't think the audio
really
came out
good.
I think
because he didn't mention that.
I'm pretty sure
the video guy didn't mention. He was just like, dude, I'm so sorry.
No, I know, but I think this was the first time he was doing that, and so because I had asked, and it was his first time doing that there. So like, that's why. Remember, I was trying to come up with the method for us to record our stuff, but I was like, I think we might need to get mic'd up, but he did it. I don't think it worked because we also did other shows because that was at the time where we were trying to figure out how to get the sound right.
Yeah.
And then when we did, other venues, like we started figuring out, we do kind of need to be mic'd up to get pretty good sound. And I don't think he had that, so I don't think it came out good. I think that's why we haven't gotten it.
Okay, well, he didn't mention that. He was just like, dude, I have these projects. I'm so sorry. But speaking of filming stuff, we should definitely plan on filming the sets at the Houston Improv. I'm not sure what type of setup and cameras and stuff you want to use, but yeah, man, I'm looking forward to.
Did you tell Houston you got a sponsor for Houston?
Shout out,
got some sponsors.
Shout out to Push and Win. Shout out to Push and Win. Injury law firm 833 Push Win. They push, you win. If you live in Houston, you've seen the billboards all over. So big thank you to them. They're going to be VIP at the Saturday show.
Word on the street, Theo Hoover got some consultation from them.
Oh yeah,
he got some consultation.
Oh yeah. Theo Hoover went in. Because he got injured on the job.
Y'all gonna see a video with Theo Hoover. That boy, he got a whole quote and everything.
He came in with a neck brace. He was still moving his neck. He was still giving high fives even though his arm was in a sling. And it started getting a little crazy. He's like, so what kind of injury? He's like, it was a heavy duty. Y'all
gotta watch it. Y'all gotta watch it. It'll be up right now. So if you want to see that, go to Chingo's Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Just share it with your friends. And in this video, if you guys enjoyed the podcast, this What Did He Said podcast is coming back now. Just share the show, guys. We're not gonna put up any ads on any stuff and things like that. So just share the show.
Watch it on YouTube, no ads. And shout out to the patrons on Red Pill Tamales, Discord, RPT Podcast. Big shout out to them. All the RPT podcasts are gonna be raw, uncut, specifically for the Patreon. Those won't even be public, so we won't even have to tap dance or deal with that.
Yeah, so then if you want to go there exclusively, go to Patreon. What is it?
Patreon.com/Red Pill Tamales.
Yeah, but if you want to watch these What Did He Say, they're going to be on YouTube and Facebook. All we ask is you just share the show. And if you guys want to make clips from them and do it yourself and put it out, that's cool too. We're not gonna ban any of y'all, so y'all can just share the show on your own thing, make a channel if y'all want. We don't care.
Please do. Thank you guys so much. This concludes the What Did He Say podcast, brought to you by ChingoTheMerch.com. See you at the show. Das.